Dear students, now that your story writing is over, now you will come to this time when you will be given a small time between story writing and group discussion. Now this is the time which you should utilize in finding out the points from others. So this way you can frame a possible common story. You can also understand how you saw the picture, what it is. Remember one thing very importantly before rushing up, that it is not necessary that I have to push my story as the final story. If you are realizing that there are going to be a lot of difference of opinion, but you can get a logical idea that these points can be added and common story can be created, it will be wonderful. This time in between will give you enough time to think over it and get your mind clear. There are many times when you see differently and you write a story which is totally different from the others. Now in that case, no problems. What you have done, you can read out. But while discussing, you don't have to prove your story. You have to come to a common story. Remember this point. They don't tell you to prove your story. They tell you to come to a common story. Now there are some people who are very egoistic or self-loving. They tend to think that this process is to prove your own story. No, it's for your cooperative functioning. So they check how you create a story. Now let's talk about readout and narration of the story. The readout narration is session is organized to assess the candidate. They'll give you 30 to 1 minute to read out. And in this, you have to read out with a reasonable self-style. We'll give you a few styles to get an idea for the same. Now, like you've started, good morning, friends. My story revolves around the, whatever your character's name is. Who was this? Once he saw this, so he realized that he must, that is the emotion which you want to write. So he decided to do this. Now decision is there. And then he did whatever are the different actions he did. You can add it up here. And thus was able to timely resolve. And that can be the end result. You got the point? I repeat. Good morning, friends. My story revolves around the subject, whatever your character's name. Who was this, right? Once he saw a situation, what you saw in the picture. So he realized that he must, now he's talking about his emotion. He must do this. So he decided to do this. And you can write whatever he did. And then he did. He decided to help. And then he did this, whatever the actions. And thus was able to timely resolve. Thank you all. You may use above example. As I've told you, we'll give you one more. Good morning to all of you. I saw, and my hero is, whatever you want to. One day he was, and he saw, again the same point. What he saw, you can tell, and felt. Now again your emotion of what you feel like to help, don't want to help, whatever. And so he thought what to do and decided to do this, thus with this timely action. While you decide to do, then what all you did, you write it, and thus this timely action, the hero was able to solve and felt satisfied that he could contribute by end result. Is it clear? So you can read this again and again to get an idea. It is not necessary to copy it dot to dot. You can make all your changes and make it more impressive and unique for yourself. Thanks to all of you, you may do that. There can be n number of ways, as I've told you, but you have to learn how it is to be understood. Now let's talk about the group discussion PPDT. The purpose has defined goal. Number one, you should create consensus, common point. Not this that you are going to prove your point. Very big problem. Many of you are coming from different areas, learned half cooked, or you are half bred, or you are self-loving. You tend to push your ideas. No, it's not that. You have to come to a common point. Not to force or advocate your own story. As I've told you, it's necessary to use other ideas also. Must assimilate, comprise, and logically conclude for a common one. Thus, the common story may be a modified version due to use of logical contribution for final and acceptable. That's understood? Everyone clear? Okay. Here we go down further. Some traits which will lead to rejection. Now, what will happen? Dominative action. Some people are aggressive. They do not let others speak. They try to push their point. No, this should be the hero. They do not want to agree that the picture may be differing. There will be different. Now this is wrong. There are subdued proposals. Some people are too weak. They do not know how to speak, or they say something and then the other person says no. So they say, okay, sorry. No, I don't say that you don't have to propose your thing, but say it in a very confident manner and try to be logical about it. Then there is an aggressive behavior. There are some people who tend to be very aggressive. They come with a bang approach. They say, you don't listen to me, now take a bang, bang. This is also wrong. So the required approach is assertive participation. What do you mean by assertive? Assertive means putting your points very nicely with a confident voice. That's it. Dominative and assertive is slightly different. Dominative wants acceptance. Assertive gives as a proposal. So do propose your story and do not try to dominate the proceedings. Be a good listener. I've told you. Gather fact for a common conclusion. You know, when people are reading out, you can be a good listener. That is the time itself when you will get a lot of ideas and you will get an idea what you should create as a conclusion. This experience we have created is coming into 3 points. Majority, clubbing opinion, step-by-step concluding. Now this is group discussion. You've already done your narration. You have done well. After your narration, you got to say thank you and let the other person take over. That's fine. Once everybody is done, they will begin with the group discussion. Now in group discussion, we are going to tell you out of our research that there are 3 approaches which you can use. Suppose everybody has written a common story. Nearly it's a fire situation, so everybody has written on fire. Somebody has written fire in Hastinapur, somebody has written fire in Lanka, somebody has written fire in New York, whatever they must have written fire. Now in that case, the fire is a common theme. So you can work on that you can say that everybody is written on fire. I think we should go for this, but we can do this action added, chess number so and so said this action, and we can make it a wonderful story to control the fire in minimum time. Now we talk about clubbing opinions. What do you mean by clubbing opinions? You have different people, so you can add, if you have, while read out only, you will come to know that there are some relevant 2-3 ideas which are very good. So you can join them together to make a common story. That is clubbing opinion. Clubbing means joining things together. And step-by-step concluding when there are a lot of variety. So then what will happen? You will have variety. We will revise it thoroughly. Let's go further. In the majority, the candidate can use similar common story and adopt changes in action to make it a good story. Friends, as most of us have written a story related to fire control, we can agree to take it as the main plot and improve it by including action. Now, what a lovely direction you picked up. This is by majority. If it is a common story shown, common picture shown, where there is no confusion of perception. In clubbing opinion, the candidate can use a few good ideas of others to club together and move towards a conclusive story. Now, this idea you said, this you have said, why not we make it together, and this way we can. This way, it's like, making a alliance. When you do it in democracy, you create alliance. You join us, and we can get it together. Similarly, friends, as I've heard the readout, chess number X has said this, chess number Y has said this, chess number Z. Now here I put X, Y, Z, but there you can put the chess number which is there because you are supposed to address that. We can make a common story. Then we come down to step-by-step concluding. Now what is step-by-step concluding? If the variety of thoughts is too much, then in that case, you will not be able to do clubbing. You won't be able to use majority method. So what you can do is, friends, step by step. First decide the hero, then decide the action, then decide what will be the result, that kind of thing. So friend, as we all have very different stories, so we can begin with finalizing a hero as commonly seen a youth, whatever, if somebody is getting an idea. Thereafter, as for the picture, we can finalize the main plot. Again, the people will discuss. No point, let them play. Once the ball is rolling, after that again you can point that let's go for the accident of awareness which we are deciding, and we can improve this and finalize a common story. Got it? So this way you've got 3 modus operandi and you can use it dependent on situations. Remember this very importantly. Participation degree, we tell you that if you are finding an extremely aggressive group and that is a fish market situation, but you have given one proper point with very confident voice. One proper point doesn't mean excuse me. It means a complete thought. So if you have said it very nicely, it is good enough for helping you because there is already chaos. He will notice you. Next, in case there is a healthy group, you have people who are allowing you to speak. You can speak twice. This way you can give 2 different points and help in developing and conclusion of the story, right? In thrice, it can be little more than healthy participation. Again, a healthy group, that's okay. But some people try to do 4, 5, 6 times, or sometimes they want to speak. Now this is wrong. It may be excessive participation will give an impression that you're non-cooperating and you are not letting others speak. This will go against your selection. That is why some people who are good communicators get rejected because they did not cooperate and they tried to create a mess. Now, points to remember is that in case discussion goes well, the group testing officer may ask you, one of you can conclude. In conclusion, you can be very careful in including all the points. Do not try to create a conclusion where you ignore everybody's point and tell your own story. If you stand up, you can show the courage to stand up and give, and you can use all the other points. So as per the discussion of everyone, we would agree that the common story can be this. Wonderful. In case you are told that, okay, everybody said, anybody wants to add, in case the candidate has not said a very major point or has not included other point, then you can probably, sir, though the candidate has given a good story, but I feel in the group discussion, these points and these points can be added up to make also a better story. Now, this is tactful, this is suggestion, but it is not over smartness. You have to think twice before doing objection. In case you don't feel you can handle it, don't do it. That's it. Now, important word of caution is fluency in speech should be reasonable. You should speak with clarity. Avoid public fear, because this is natural that you stand and you start shaking or stammering. Don't do that. You will get stammering, you will be out. Remove hesitation and shyness in speech. Do not hesitate and speak up. Master group management. Don't get worried by what people are looking at you. Try to enjoy the activity and you will do well. Master stress management. Don't feel stressed that so many people are watching you. It's okay. Relax. Enjoy your personality. Then we've got a few more points to tell you. Check aggression. Don't become aggressive. Create consensus. Try to come to a common point. And then avoid stammering in speech. I'm repeating this because there are so many people who stammer in speech. They go back in the story. They do not feel. Now that speaks of poor confidence and they get out. Blockage of thoughts. Now there are some people who have blockage of thoughts. They do not know what to speak. Wrong. And please try to effectively contribute. Thus, as per performance on this, you will get screened in and some of you will be screened out if they have failed on these aspects. Remember one thing, I will always advise you, last but not the least, you can enroll wherever convenient nearby and practice, because many things you have understood, it's fine. If you are a good communicator, our app and our experiences can help you perform. There are numerous people who came first time. They just listened, they understood everything because they had common sense as a background and they picked up and they went and got success. But some people who are poor in communication or have public fear or other things, I'll always tell them that they can practice. Our app is already there, Militaire Academy app. You can learn in details everything and I hope you learn from it. Thank you very much.